Hey Batman fans out there, Troy to the Max Extreme here.
Dinosaur Neil!
And the Gray Ghost Hunter Dave.
Together, we are Imperius Rex. So, how you guys doing?
Great. It was great.
Never better. Glad to hear it. Well, I'm just going to tell you right now, I'm a little bitter. You did the movie review without me, didn't wait.
Well, I mean, we have time now. What did you think of the Batman?
Yeah. You dogs. Let me do that one again. I didn't know I was going to get a rebuttal.
So welcome back, everyone, to another episode on our Batyear saga. Batyear Returns, some call it. Last time we did Batyear, we kicked it off with the seminal Batman Year One from Frank Miller and David
Mazzucchelli.
Yeah. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Anytime I feel like I'm going to butcher something, I'm just going to pause.
There's that slight hesitation. Like, now is my time to step in.
Yes. We thought, what better way to kind of kick this one off than with Year Two. The very strange follow-up to Year One.
Yes.
Often disregarded. Some people don't even know it exists. But it features the artwork from a young Todd McFarlane.
Oh, boy. Yes. Yeah.
That was kind of a Minnesotan. Todd McFarlane.
Yeah.
Anyone want to take a stab
It
at
almost
that?
sounded more like Seth MacFarlane.
It was a bit of Seth MacFarlane. But it's got old Todd, and it's got Mike Barr writing it. And it, strangely enough, heavily inspired the heralded classic Batman Mask of the Phantasm, like the first animated movie. So when I heard all this, I was like, you know what, maybe it's time to give that gun-toting madman a shot. And take a look at Batman Year Two. And what better time than now? What better place than this?
Wow.
The Batcave, the Rex No, nothing there. No connection there.
Now you want to get nuts? Come on, let's get nuts.
So, Dave, this is not the first time I've heard of Year Two. I've heard of it in certain circles. And I've always wondered, like...
In whispers.
Yes.
The NRA.
It's like, it's got all these big names in it. It's got Todd McFarlane.
Todd Father.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like, why does anyone talk about this more? Are we going to be the first to talk about this book?
I checked the numbers, checked the YouTube numbers.
Yeah.
We're the first.
Wow.
No one's ever talked
Jeez,
about it.
oh, strap in. My lordy, what a different book this feels like than a Batman book.
Yeah. It's got Bruce Wayne in it.
It does. It has a man named Bruce Wayne in it.
Oh my god. And he is ecstatic
Yeah.
at times.
Yeah. I've never seen a more giddy Bruce Wayne. And it is off-putting.
It is.
I do not care for it.
Not a good look for him.
No.
And he is like the most over-eager I've ever seen anybody ever write him ever. As soon as she is introduced in the picture, when she shows up with Leslie at the Wayne Foundation or whatever it is,
Yeah.
he's like, oh, hello. Like pushing Leslie aside, might as well in the mud. And who are you? And like immediately falls in love with her.
Yeah.
Like there's no back history between them. It's not like we've known you from like a child.
Nope.
And now I'm seeing you again. It's like, who are you? Oh, I'm gonna be a nun. Really? Could I deflower you first?
I'm gonna make you break your one rule. Very strong Pepe Le Pew vibes.
Yeah,
from Bruce Wayne in
oh,
this.
yeah.
So, It's not all just Giddy Bruce in this.
No.
I mean, a lot of it is.
Yeah.
But there is a terror, striking terror into the hearts of terrorists
Oh, wow.
in Gotham. A lot of terror in this book.
Oh, yeah.
And he goes by the name of the Terror. No, it's the Reaper.
Yes.
And Blue Oyster Cult may lead you to believe you should not fear the Reaper. He begs to differ.
Yeah.
And he says
In every
many
panel.
times to do just that.
You will learn to fear the Reaper. Yeah. Every page that he exists on.
Yeah.
Fear the Reaper, fear the Reaper. Oh, did you just get here? Fear the Reaper too? Hey, you guys over there. Fear me. I'm the Reaper.
His introduction was great too. It's like the first
When he said Fear the Reaper?
When he said Fear the Reaper.
Yeah.
No, just him as this normal guy, and you're like, he's clearly the most evil person I've ever seen in my entire life. Shows up and he's got like this giant caveman brow looking thing. Like,
Yeah.
Also like that there is no mystery on
No.
who
Nope.
he is. It's like 10 pages into this thing, this old guy shows up,
His
and
name
you're like,
Lawrence Caspian? Is that it?
I think
no, it's not Lawrence, is it? It's like something stupider than Lawrence.
Oh, it's Mr. Caspian.
Oh, okay.
Consulted my notes.
Yeah.
So there's Mr. Caspian and
Yeah.
his daughter Caspian.
Yes.
Rachel,
Yeah.
I believe
Yes.
her name is.
Not Andrea Beaumont.
No,
No.
but she might as well be, other than any twist that could arise from this book.
But there is no... sorry to spoil it.
No.
There is no twist in this book. Because
No.
I was like, oh, it's gonna be this Rachel.
Nope.
She's gonna be this not Phantasm, the Reaper.
No.
Right.
Right.
Should fear.
she
Right.
keeps pulling out her nun garb and being like, I want to do this!
Yeah, you would think, like, at one time in this, she parts her nun garbs, and there's a Reaper costume behind it.
No, just another nun outfit. A nunnier one.
Yeah.
So, Mr. Caspian was the terror of Gotham for a while. Well before
Batman,
Batman.
yeah.
He was cleaning up the streets by murdering people, thugs mostly.
Yeah.
I'm sure some innocents snuck in there too. But then he retired for like 20 years.
Yeah.
And then Batman kicked it off. He hit the ground running. And sure enough, apparently the Reaper thought he wasn't doing a good enough job. So he's coming out of retirement to reap some more. And reap does he ever.
Oh, yeah.
Does he ever? He's got like a huge boner for killing the mob for some reason.
Yeah.
The mob never screwed him.
No.
He's just like, I hate crime. I'm gonna kill them all.
Yeah.
Then they won't do crime anymore if they're dead.
That's right.
Solid logic. I can't really fault him in his
No.
logic.
He thought this through.
It's like a follow-up, I guess, to Year One. But you don't need to know anything about Year One going into this, other
You
than
should probably not know anything about it,
Yeah.
because then you're just going to be wondering what you're missing.
the only thing I think that even ties them together is like
Kicks a tree in half.
Gordon. Not even. Gordon is promoted,
Yeah.
and that's it.
Mm-hmm.
That's it.
Yeah.
And then otherwise, you could go in this. I personally think this was a script that was already written.
Uh-huh.
Needed a little bit more notoriety to it. They slapped a year title on it.
Yep.
And then they put it out. Because this doesn't make any sense on why it's a sequel to a Year One situation.
Many years later, too, right?
This came out in '87. I can't remember
Yeah.
when Year One came out.
I don't know that either, off the top of my
But
head.
I thought it was
I have it over there, but if I pulled it out, some toys are going to fall off, and we better
we don't
not.
want that.
No.
I thought it came out after Crisis on Infinite Earths, when they're kind
After
of rebooting.
Year One. The fact that this came out 2 years before Batman '89, I thought was kind of bewildering. I'm like, oh man, Batman was pretty dark.
Mhm.
Even before Tim Burton got his hooks in him.
Yeah.
His scissors hands. And,
Yeah.
but it's not a good dark.
No.
It's a pretty bad one, in fact.
This is rather campy.
Yeah.
Very campy, I would say.
I think Mike Barr mentioned that I don't want it to just be a copy of Year One. I want to kind of expand into the goofier themes of Batman.
Sure.
Which it does,
I think
but
he-
it's not to a better effect.
I think they may have gone a step too far.
Yeah.
Maybe you should have waited a little bit more in the Year One water so it's like maybe a better transition.
Yeah.
If that's what they were going for. If it was actually a direct sequel.
And I found that the camp didn't match the utter brutality that the
Reaper?
Yeah, the Reaper reaps on people.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
he reaps.
he fully on just guts people. Like, it's brutal. Like, there are some very bloody moments in this that just kind of come out of nowhere because it's like right after a page of Bruce being all giddy and stuff. It's just like, this, it doesn't make any sense. Yeah.
I like early on, before you even see the Reaper in question, that there's like this artist rendition of like, this is what people think the Reaper looks like. And it's literally what he looks like. The only thing they got wrong is he has 2 hooks instead of just the 1 hook and a bony hand or whatever.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it's a man, skull face, cloak, hook,
Yeah.
scythe.
Yeah.
So what do we think about the Reaper's design? For an original character, he's a bit over-designed.
A bit.
I think he's not a bad-looking character, though.
Not terrible.
I think the reaping hooks that he has are a little much,
Uh-huh.
especially when they can, like, sprout guns.
Yeah. Little trapdoors.
Yeah. And my god, the onomatopoeia sound effect of it clinking or like slooping into his back. It's like, I get it. When his hands are doing this, he's hooking them in. I don't need the sound effect every goddamn time he touches the sights.
It was a weird one too. It was like click click click.
Like 18 Ks of
Yeah.
What? I thought the red was a bit garish. In my opinion, it's
very
a
red.
lot of red.
It's a lot of red.
But it reminded me of the Francis Ford Coppola Bram Stoker's armor from Dracula.
Yeah.
Bram Stoker's Dracula armor from the beginning of the movie.
Yeah.
And this came out well before that, but it is like heavily not inspired. I think Dracula might have been inspired a bit from this.
I also like that he makes mention that it's leather.
Yeah.
And it's like, why can't you just beat him up still then? It's just leather armor. You're not padded any more than an old-timey football player. Like with a sweater and leather pads underneath. They still got concussions and died easily.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe that's why died easily. I don't know why I said that. It was very easy to kill an old-timey football player is what I'm trying to say. If Batman would come up to him and just boot him in the guts,
Dead.
just
Dead.
Easier than killing a Dracula.
Got leather. He's got leather there.
Anyway, that's all I had to say.
We should touch on kind of getting into the plot of the book, like the fight.
Finally getting into the plot.
Yeah, the first fight that he has with the Reaper. Which, so that and that leading up to how the rest of this thing carries on is just fascinating to me because he gets in a pretty much just a short tussle with the Reaper. It's not much. And instantly he's got leather armor. Oh man, I'm gonna have to get a gun now. Like, just him losing a small fight already made Batman go off the deep end. Like, I don't
Question
fucking
his abilities.
shoot this guy.
Like, he gets trounced by an old man once. I need to get a gun. This guy fucking sucks. I'm gonna kill him.
Yeah, it's pretty much.
That literally was insane. And that was his mindset throughout the rest of the book. He never left that gun off his person.
He had
He's
it
like,
all the time.
and he even makes note to say, in the very beginning of this book where he's beating up those dudes robbing the apartment or whatever, and they're like, get your piece or whatever, and he's like, guns are for pussies or whatever he says. He then brandishes a gun the entire book, and he's just in case the Reaper shows up. I'm gonna shoot him.
Yeah.
Waves it around like he's always loved guns. Well, I don't know if you knew this, but I'm quite the gunsmith myself.
And he's like, just
What do you got there, 9mm?
yeah.
Check out this baby.
Yeah.
It's the one that killed my folks.
And he's just automatically a really good shot with it.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, I've seen you've been keeping up on your marksman skills. He's like, I haven't. But he's also just like headshotting everything from the This is so fun.
God, guns kick ass.
The funny thing is, like, in Batman's mentality, if he had a gun that, like, shot batarangs, I think he'd be perfectly fine with it.
Yeah.
It's like, it's not bullets, it's batarangs. It's not a gun. It's a batarang shooter. A gun killed my parents. No one's been killed by a batarang.
But he'll throw a batarang in Joker's eye.
Oh, yeah.
Be like, I'm fine with that.
Fucking make him wish he was dead.
Kind of wish I had a gun right now.
Just push that batarang in further with that gun. I don't want to touch it with my hand. Gross.
Gotta shoot this batarang in further.
I also love just how he got... dismissively treats Alfred throughout this. There's one line in this where Alfred's like just checking on him, and Bruce is just like, Alfred, make sure my goddamn equipment's in working order tonight.
Yeah.
Fuck!
Yeah. He treats Alfred like freaking Sterling Archer treats his butler in Archer. Have you ever seen that show?
No.
Fuck. Like, after he's shooting that gun, he's like, yeah, make sure it's clean and oiled.
Yeah.
Maybe pick up all those shells.
There's also another line that's just passive-aggressive that falls in the same line. He's like, hey, go make Rachel a cake right now. Like, make her a chocolate cake. And he's like, yes. He can't just whip up a cake. Like, it takes hours, man.
Alfred goes, buys a cake. Batman doesn't know how fucking cakes work. Alfred's biggest trick in the book.
He just bought him a new gun and started cleaning his other one.
It's like 12 guns removed from the gun that killed his parents.
But he keeps saying, this is the
This is
one
the
that
one.
did it.
Oh, I do love that Batman gets Jim Gordon a pipe. Because Jim's trying to cut back on the cigarettes, so Batman's like, here, smoke this instead.
Yeah.
Still kill you, still tobacco, but smoke this. And then when Jim thinks that Batman betrays him, breaks that pipe in half.
Yeah.
Breaks it over his knee.
The funniest part about that...
Hey, I made Alfred go and buy you that pipe. So, I will say some of the fighting in this, brutal, very well done. I think the art on this, we didn't even talk about the art. The first artist is Alan Davis for issue 1. Yeah. And then for whatever reason, he drops out and they bring in old Toddster. Take him off the bench, put him in the big leagues.
Yeah.
The Bat Leagues.
Yes.
Yep. Still workshopping that. I really liked Alan Davis's artwork.
Me too.
And I did not care for Todd McFarlane's artwork.
Neither. It's very young Todd McFarlane. I think...
Yeah.
Did he do Spider-Man? No, this is 87.
Yeah, I don't know what he would have done before.
I don't know what he would have... But this is like the first time he's ever drawn Batman. The second time is Batman Spawn. Yeah. And that he's never drawn him again. Yeah. But he is very spawny in this. I tell you what, with that big billowy cape and...
Glad you brought up that big billowing cape, because now I have a reason to show that I bought this. Todd McFarlane released Batman figure from Batman Year 2. Probably a big mistake. I have nowhere to put it. It will most likely not leave this box. And if anyone wants to buy it off me, go ahead and contact me, because I need to get out of here. Business manager says we're hemorrhaging money because of this right now. So purchase today. Yep. The channel needs your services. Yeah. But the fighting in this, I thought in the first issue where he gets a slight beatdown from Reaper that completely changes his MO for the rest of the book. I thought there was some really good movement in that. Yeah. Especially this one part where like the Reaper gets him in like a bear hug almost, like a shoulder lock, and then just like rubs his chin down on the spikes that the Reaper has on his chest. Yeah. I'm like, fuck, that looks painful. I can see why he's ready to grab a piece and just start killing. Yeah. You ever poked your chin hard?
Oh yeah.
It's no picnic.
Makes you want to shoot people.
Yes. There is one art choice that I really did like of Todd McFarlane's. And it was Batman in that painter's suit, or whatever it was, at the airport.
The luggage.
Yeah, the luggage carriers. Who he pops out of nowhere. And he's just like, ha! And he just goes for a karate kick on the Reaper, and he's like, you dare!
Nobody noticed, like, on the tarmac, a man in a white suit in a bat cowl on. Yeah. Only hiding his ears with a tiny white hat.
Yeah.
So we discussed, what do you do with those ears? Do they, like, just fold down?
I don't know. They're just floppy
Are they
rubber.
floppy like this, where he just, like, puts them down and then he takes his hat off and has to, like...
They're telescoping. They can go in and out.
What do you do with that cape? Is that thing,
It's just like
tucked in?
It looks like he has a big shit in his pants, probably. In his white pants. But immediately gets cut out of it. So it's like one slash... He's burst from his shackles, and now he's in full Batman garb.
You know how tight that cape was bound up in there.
It's just an interesting choice, because you could have just had him hiding up high somewhere. Instead of him being like... He was probably packing luggage on a plane for like 3 hours before he showed up. Boy, when he gets here, I'm going to shoot his ass.
Imagine how hard Batman would be on your luggage, just Have you seen regular people just load luggage into a plane? They're drop kicking it in there and shit. He's probably shooting it with his gun, throwing batarangs at it.
So the gun that killed his parents. This is a thing that I think is super inconsistent across any Batman book, along with like whether or not Joe Chill is alive or not.
Right.
But in like your headcanon of Batman, is that gun floating around somewhere? Is it in the Batcave? Did he melt it down for armor like in that Kevin Smith story? Like, were you surprised that he had the gun in his possession?
Yeah.
He saw Joe Chill like chuck it into the bushes after he ran away.
Yeah.
And then he went and picked it up as a kid and just like had it on him for 30 years or 20 years or whatever it is, waiting just to shoot the Reaper with it.
Yeah.
I'll know when the time is right.
Yeah.
See, like after Joe Chill initially kills the Waynes, like I'm done with him after that. Because they made a decision
Chill.
to put him in this book, I don't hate it.
No.
I don't hate that he's still kicking. I kind of hate that he has as an importance as he does in the crime world.
I thought we were like, don't worry, we're gonna team you up, Batman, with our best guy,
Yeah.
Joe Chill.
And
Then Joe Chill like shoots a light switch to turn it on and illuminate him. This whole time, Joe Chill, his quest has been to find the gun that he killed the Waynes with. They've been leading parallel lives. Hey, Bats, it's a pretty nice gun. Mind if I take a look at it? No, it's my gun.
I used to have one just like it. Doubt it.
It's probably still in a bush somewhere.
But yeah, I don't hate the inclusion of Joe Chill in this. In fact, I would even say that I like the
Buddy cop team
weird
up.
team up between them. I think I would like it more if Batman wasn't Batman and he was like Patches or Matches or whenever he is.
Yeah.
And he had to like disguise himself to be in the criminal underworld and had to team up with him.
That would have been much better.
Like, he knows that he's Joe Chill. Joe Chill doesn't know Matches or Patches.
No, he doesn't know Matches from Patches.
And they have to do an unlikely team up to do something. But I feel like if it's Batman, they go on one excursion together. Joe Chill's trying to keep an eye on Batman for some reason. Batman just doesn't fucking batarang him in the head and bat chain him up to a pole and like, I'm gonna go shoot whoever I want now. Yeah. Because in this, it just seems so odd. Now, not only is Batman carrying a gun, kind of hesitant to use it when he's with Joe Chill, but Joe Chill comes out guns blazing everywhere. He's kicking open doors and just like, pow, 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 pow. And Batman does take out of his gun off his like sweet breast holster, and he's like shooting guns out of people's hands.
Batman, commit to the gun!
He's like, he shoots a baseball bat out of a man's hand, and then Joe Chill shoots him dead.
We make quite a team, you and me, Bat.
Oh, it's such a weird part of the book.
And Batman's okay with all of
Yeah,
that.
he's fine with it. I just don't, it's a weird part.
Yeah, and the fact that, like, the way he gets in this situation is he teams up with the Mafia to take down the Reaper.
Right.
It's like, what the fuck does Batman even care in this scenario? He's ready to kill the Reaper himself. What's he care if the Reaper kills a bunch of guys that Batman is going to put away? Or most likely shoot once he gets his hard on for that gun. I should just be shooting everyone.
Yeah.
Shoot all my problems. I've just been throwing money at it. Just shoot it.
That was an interesting character choice, in my opinion, and it didn't fit with me. I thought it was this whole middle portion of this book. Yeah, this whole book essentially, but that whole middle portion with him and the mob and all that stuff, and him kind of double like crossing Gordon, but not really. It's like
when he tells Gordon, "I'm gonna make a decision, you're gonna be coming after me" or whatever, and Gordon's like, "Yeah, okay."
Yeah,
Ends up breaking his pipe over it.
Oh, I know. Yeah. It's like, Gordon, he warned you. He warned you to keep that pipe close. Keep your enemies close and that pipe closer. And then at the end, when he realizes that Batman was just like playing the mob, he's like, oh, that's what he meant when he told me it was gonna look like I double-cross you, but I'm not really double-crossing you. Huh. I guess it all makes sense now in hindsight.
Well,
he did exactly what he told me he was gonna do.
Trying to kick his broken pipe under a bush.
Hey, Gordon, what's that? Nothing.
Just a gun. Bruce also says something just as, like, looming to Rachel in this, where he's like,
I'm gonna fucking kill you.
sometimes a man just gotta do what he's gotta do. I got a lone mission to go do, and you can't stop me from doing it.
Yeah.
And she's just like, come back to me whenever you're done doing whatever.
Yeah.
It's like, what?
I'm gonna
Are
take you
fucking nuts?
But also, there's a countdown, and when it hits 0, I'm a fucking nun.
Yeah.
So,
Well, guess
act
what?
fast.
When I get back, I'm gonna take you to the most stereotypical Asian restaurant in Gotham, baby. And they do, and it's terrible.
Did you see that restaurant? They got like the silver platter with like the silver dome on it to serve them like
A gun.
to serve them fortune cookies.
Yeah.
Filled with rings.
Yeah.
Your order, sir? Thanks.
I'm gonna shoot this ring on her finger.
I also love when Batman and Joe Chill are teamed up and they're just like prowling the rooftops. They're like, all right, let's go. Batman like grapple hooks away, and then Joe Chill just like leaps off the building too. And it's like, holy shit, Joe Chill is a fucking beast.
Yeah,
No wonder he's
he's
their best
number
guy.
one. Yeah.
That handicap wearing motherfucker.
Oh shit. My last note that I have for this book is that the Bruce Wayne Rachel Caspian relationship is the dumbest one in comics history. Because not only does he meet her day one, wants to marry her. This whole thing, what, is a week's time?
I thought it
Seems
was
like
a day.
Yeah, it's very short. Okay, let's cut it in half. 3.5 days.
All right.
Okay?
Yep.
He has proposed to her, met her, all in that 3-day period, as well as met his arch nemesis, who he now will break his one rule to kill.
Yep.
A lot is happening in Batman Bruce Wayne's life right now.
That's right. And also teamed up with the man that made him become Batman.
Yeah. This is a lot.
And Gordon broke his present.
Yeah. My
his heart.
lord.
Yeah, a lot goes on.
Yeah.
And then at the end, it just like wraps up very quickly, where the Reaper's hanging off a building, and does he let himself go and fall to his death?
Yeah.
'Cause
Yeah.
Batman's like, take my gun, take my gun in hand.
I think he says something along the lines of, "Oh, I can see he's doing great. They don't need me anymore."
Look at him reaping what he sows.
Goodbye, cruel world. Love if he leapt off and Batman shot as he was falling
It
down.
just falls on a bunch of bullets. But then once the Reaper's out of the story, Batman takes that gun and throws it into like part of the foundation of the building.
Oh, yeah.
And
yeah.
I don't know if someone cements over it or they build the building in the shape of a big gun. I don't know how it works.
Who knows?
But he's done with the gun then. And Joe Chill is killed, right? At the end of this?
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah.
By
he
the
gets his
Reaper.
Head
Gets reaped.
blown off by the
Yes.
Reaper.
Because, yeah, I guess there is a little bit more to the end there where Batman like lures him. He's like, all right, Reaper's dead. Well, how about you and me go behind this bush? I hear there's lots of guns. Looks like a gun bush.
Well, Batman lures Joe Chill to Crime Alley. He's like, "This look familiar?"
Yeah.
And Joe Chill's like, "No." It's like, Crime Alley. Ever kill a husband and wife here? Joe Chill, I'm thinking like,
Several.
yeah, probably many. Like, can you narrow it down? Had pearls? With a kid with him? I don't know, dude.
Well, it was me, Bruce Wayne. You want to get nuts? Let's get nuts. Yeah.
Yeah.
But this moment is important because in the follow-up that's also included in this,
Yep.
they bring up this moment.
That's
so
right.
keep this in mind as we are going all over the place.
Yes. Yes. So before Bruce can enact his vengeance, which not sure if he's going to follow through with it.
He's got a dead to rights. He's got a gun on his head. He's like, "I'll kill you, motherfucker. I'll kill you real good.
Yep.
I'll kill you like my dad, my dead mom."
But then the Reaper kills him.
Yeah.
And that's that.
Yeah.
And then Batman's kind of pissed at the Reaper. He's just like, hey, I want to fucking kill him.
I don't get to shoot nobody.
But then the follow-up to this is Full Circle, I believe. Is
Yeah.
the title. This was written by Mike Barr again, and Alan Davis came back to do the whole thing. It's like a one-shot, a very long one-shot.
Yeah.
And it was like 5 years later, I think.
Yeah, it was some time removed, yeah.
It includes Robin now, who's with Batman, and it follows the son of Joe Chill taking up the mantle of the Reaper and enacting vengeance across Gotham for some reason.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Go on.
Okay, so I didn't hate this.
No, I think I like this more.
This was my favorite part of the book, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Because we already had all this established continuity set. And so you could kind of play with it now. Being that I didn't know it was 5 years removed until, like, I just looked it up right before recording.
So I just said it.
Yeah, well, no. But, like, I thought it was immediately after. I thought Alan Davis on art was awesome.
Yeah.
Like, I think the inker on this portion of it really did a great job of showing how good his pencils are, or maybe he's just a great embellisher. But this looked great.
Yeah.
And anyway, art aside, yeah, it's Joe Chill's dead. His son takes up the Reaper for some reason.
You know, the guy that killed his father.
Yeah. And then his son, Joey Chill, is like witness to all of this action going on.
Right.
So that last part where Batman had Joe Chill dead to rights, Joe Chill gets taken out by the Reaper, that was being witnessed by Joe Chill's son in the bushes.
Yeah. Just
Just
peeping,
following,
just
yeah.
looking for
and
guns and
apparently
weapons.
stripping dead bodies of their costumes to take later
Yeah.
to use for nefarious purposes. And that's kind of what this issue is, just like, oh, the Reaper's back. I thought he was back. He was dead or whatever. And Rachel's all distraught about it because, like, oh, my dad's dead. And I found out he was the Reaper or whatever. This is bad.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's it. All I'm explaining is terrible things. And it makes it sound terrible. But it was my favorite part of the book for some reason.
Yes. That being said, it's not a great book.
No,
but
not.
it's, this whole thing, not great.
No.
But a bit fun. Just a campy Batman from a time past.
Right.
That we don't really get that in the new books because most of them are better than this.
Yeah.
But just having no stakes to it and like, I'm just gonna read a dumb old Batman story that looks pretty good. And like, I don't know where it's going. He has a gun for some reason. I'm like, I'm on board. Like, let's do it. It means nothing, but they can't all be good Batman stories. And sometimes the ones that aren't are still a lot of fun.
Yeah.
That's what Batyear's all about. This Batyear, it all sucks.
Yes. But I like this part of the story too, because now that Robin's introduced, it's got the cool dynamic duo action going on. He shuns Robin in the beginning, shuns him throughout the most of the book, and he still feels like he needs to save Batman for some reason, even though he's been a dick to the whole book to him.
Yeah.
That's right.
Great.
How about those Robin puns? Basically,
That was a
every
little
line.
much for me.
Oh my god, you should shun him for those fucking puns. They were terrible. It was like old Disney movies where they try to like reference pop culture that kids wouldn't get then, and like in 20 years, no one knows what the fuck they're talking about. Like, why is the genie quoting Jack Nicholson? How is this gonna hold up? They were all like that.
Yeah.
They were atrocious. There's one here.
Please.
Just to give an example. Someone, I think the Reaper says, "It will do you no good to flee, brat." So Robin responds with this zinger, "Maybe I can be a flea in the ointment."
Batman should have shot him with his gun.
Man, I should have buried that gun.
Oh, and don't worry, that gun is back because the
Oh, it's
foundation
back,
was
baby.
broken and taken out by the Reaper because he saw where he buried it or something. Is that how this goes?
I don't know.
I can't remember. The gun is back in
The
action.
gun's back.
Yeah, the foundation to Wayne Foundation is now cracked.
Oh.
The gun's taken out of it by either Batman or the Reaper. I'm not for sure of these details anymore.
Yep.
And it's back in play.
That's right.
You know what I thought would be interesting at the end of this?
Batman shoots Robin.
Yes. Also, that little Joey Chill who's witnessing everything, just how his father witnessed everything else in the bushes in previous issues. I thought it'd be an interesting take if this was like a one-off, like a multiverse story.
Yeah.
How Joey Chill would become like adopted by Batman to become a Robin. Wouldn't that be an interesting
would be
twist?
cool, yeah.
And like,
But Batman just secretly can't get past the fact that he just hates him.
no, that's true.
Your fucking grandfather, kid.
He's just running into action. Batman just trips him.
I love that they bring Rachel back. She's full nun. She's gone full nun at this point.
Yeah.
But wants to do some investigating to see if this Reaper is her father.
Yeah.
So, knowing the Reaper's MO, she figures the best way to track him down would be to dress as a very gaudy prostitute.
Yes.
And head out. And she's like, so that's how you want to meet your father.
Can you imagine if it was her dad and she like turns this what he thinks is a prostitute around and it's his daughter and he's just not gonna be pissed at his daughter went from being a nun to being a prostitute? He would sickle her dad so hard. God.
There's one part where Batman is like putting on this disguise. And you're like,
I know you're gonna say.
where's this going? And then at the end, Batman gets knocked out, and they pull the mask off, and he just looks like some dude.
Yeah.
And there was a moment where I must have read these in separate sittings, and I was like, what the fuck is this? And then, like, the next time you see him, he's masked again in a death trap.
Yeah.
And it's never addressed. It's just like, okay, I guess he put on a disguise in case he gets unmasked. He really was not feeling confident when he went in there. They unmask him, they're like, I don't know who he is.
Yeah.
And then they put the mask back on him and they go on with their plan, and it's never addressed.
Yeah. That was an odd choice.
Yes.
Because it made me think, does he do this every time? That's a lot of stuff going on under that cowl.
Yes. Then they douse him with drugs while he's in the death trap.
Yeah.
And make him watch, like, a video of a reenactment of his parents' death.
Yeah.
Which they got pretty darn close, given that they have no idea how any of this actually played out.
Yeah.
But he starts going nuts, and they're doing this to, like, just send him over the edge and cause him to kill himself in this death trap that they set up.
Right.
Which was a vat of acid around a big stand that he's perched on with a noose around his neck.
Yeah.
So there's no way out of this thing. He's either going to jump and hang himself, or he's going to fall into the acid. They covered all their bases.
Yeah.
Luckily, he gets out fairly easily.
Barely an inconvenience.
That's right. Can we talk about how Robin tracks down where Batman is from the clue?
This odd clue that comes from a weird napkin drawing?
Yes. And he's like, well, obviously, that means that he's in the northmost point of Gotham. The North Point Mall or whatever. And then off he goes, and there he is.
Yep.
Like, wow. He made some connections that I just never would have seen coming.
Only a child's mind can imagine something so far-fetched.
Yep. And Batman, because Batman, I think, was the one that left it for him.
Here's some directions if I get in trouble.
Yeah.
Pass it across the table. Everyone's like, okay.
Oh my god, this guy's fucking nuts.
It looks more or less like a football play.
Yeah.
Directions to get somewhere.
Yes. Now remember, time will be of the essence. So one interesting note that I realized, this is not the first appearance of a Reaper in Batman.
Oh, is that true?
Yes, it is.
Okay.
In fact, we already read it last Batyear, which I completely forgot about. It was in our Halloween episode where we did our Danica and Sal, and it was a one-shot on Halloween where it was like that Halloween parade that had all of the DC and Marvel characters and all of like the writers that were actually, they wrote themselves into the book.
Yeah.
And there was that one guy that was really impressed with floats. Remember him?
I do remember him.
Yes. And the villain was this guy that was like, he dressed like the Grim Reaper, and he was a Holocaust survivor that was tracking down ex-Nazis and killing them. And I completely forgot about this, but that was the first incarnation of the Reaper in the Batman lore.
How about
And
it?
I think there's another one after this, too. So this may inadvertently just become the year of the Reaper.
Oh, man. Or fear it.
Or fear it. He'd rather you fear it, if I can be honest. And then, real quick before we wrap up, can we talk a little bit more about the Phantasm connection to this?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Because they took something that was, to be kind, not great.
Yeah.
And they made it into one of the best Batman stories, I think, from universal opinion. Everyone loves that movie.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
First off, the Phantasm character is amazing looking.
Yes.
Yeah.
A lot of it pulled from the Reaper, but they improved in just about every way.
Yeah.
It had the weird sickle thing.
Yep.
It had like kind of the skull mask.
Yep. It had a better twist.
Yes.
Yeah,
It did.
because it really is this story, but just done better. Like, this is the skeleton for that movie.
Mhm.
It's got a Reaper. It's got a love interest.
Yep.
It's got
Joe Chill is the
Crime.
Joker, essentially, in this.
Yeah, but it deals with the mafia. Like, it deals with all that stuff, and it just, like, moves a few pieces to make it way more interesting and a bit more cerebral to watch, I guess.
So we watched Mask of the Phantasm for my first time a couple weeks ago. I remember when it came out as a kid, and I might have seen it in passing, but never, like, sat down and watched it. Damn good movie. Love the fact that Batman is happy, and he's at his parents' grave, and he's like, I made that mission when I was young. Like, I'm much better now.
Yeah.
Can I stop being Batman? I thought
Yeah.
that was great.
Yeah.
It was a take on Batman that I don't think I'd seen until Death and the Maidens by Greg Rucka.
Oh, yeah.
Where he's ready to give it up because he has like that trip where he talks with his dead parents.
Mm-hmm.
It's like that. I like that. I like Batman examining his life and being like, I don't really want to be Batman anymore. I'm looking to shoot my way out of here.
I almost watched it last night because I finished year 2 last night.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, oh, I should do just a double shot, do Phantasm after this. It was already like 11 o'clock, guys. I'm not gonna get into Phantasm at that. That's putting me in the witching hour.
Oh.
You know what I mean?
Oh man. So I think that does it for year 2.
Mm-hmm. Have you guys read this? Have you even heard of it before now? It does. There is a year 3.
No way.
There is.
Are you serious?
Yes. I looked it up to see if they kept going on with it. There is a year 3, and that technically introduces Robin in his 3rd year of being Batman. That's all I know about it.
Oh my.
So,
The gears are turning, Troy.
if we do this again, there may be a year 3 on the plate.
Okay. All right.
But yeah,
Good
let
to
us know in the comments down below what you thought of year 2 if you've read it.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
And what other Batman titles you'd be excited for on this upcoming Batyear.
Tune in next week, same bat time, same bat channel, as we take a look at
My God.
Batman Earth 1. I'm doing that right? Yeah.
Yep. As always, we have the Bat Phone ready to take calls, so if anybody out there would like to call in on the Hot Bat line.
That's right. We'll put the number up here.
So,
I don't remember it off the top of my head, but I think there is a Rex in there. I think it's 1 Rex.
ooh.
Don't know what the rest is. Well, it's on the screen.
So do that.
Yep.
Do what that says.
Give us a call. Let us know your favorite Bat stories. We did this last Bat year. We had a couple wonderful call-ins. Dinosaur Neil called in.
Yes, it did.
Talked about Red Sun, I believe.
I was. And this hat. that he wore.
His hat and a great smile.
Yeah, I love that.
Oh, so that could be you. You could be Dinosaur. You could be sitting here.
And then I wouldn't have to read everything anymore. But until next time, I've been Troy to the Max Extreme.
I've been Dinosaur Neil.
And I've been the Gray Ghost Hunter Dave.
And this has been Imperius Rex. We'll see ya next time. Bye-bye. Let's get all cracked up.
Get all cracked.
Oh!
Word.
That
Is
shouldn't
your
do
strain?
it. Yeah. Oh, boy. Sometimes I can get mine to pop too, and it feels real good, but
Yeah.
not today.
Not
Well.
today.
Today's not the day.
Maybe after that. Kombucha?
Maybe.
Sambucha. Kombucha?
Sambucha.
Sambucha. That's
bitter towards the world.
very opinionated, cynical drink.
All right, here we go.
First off, who's the other lady that's with Alfred that knows he's Batman?
Oh, Leslie Thompson.
Leslie. Okay.
Yeah, Batman mainstay, not utilized a whole lot, but she
gonna
shows
say,
up time to
I'm
time.
not awfully familiar with her, so when I read that, I was like, does everyone just know? I don't know. Anyway.
You put out a newsletter.
Yeah, Leslie was like...
Accidentally hit reply all. now the whole company knows.
Yeah. Leslie is like, hey, do you want me to call this girl? And she's like, no, I'll call her. And he's got the biggest grin on his face, and it's terrifying.
Yeah.
Put a gun in those hands.
Yeah.
Hands with a gun. Don't get caught up in being giddy.
Yeah. No.
All good?
Mm-hmm.